Uduasha city, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flame, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Ending. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks, and that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama. Sri Ankethris, let's start with you because you haven't had a moment here. You are still in the rafters, you are aware of all of these supernatural and spiritual events that are going on. What are you doing? You're weirdly in like a safe place, even though you're suspended above all of the traps in the back.
Correct. That's why I'm safe, because I'm suspended. So 2 of my people are currently engaged in battles with demon princes. And it seems to me that a 3rd may well be on his way to doing something like this. So ending a battle as soon as possible seems of the essence. However, we are actually not here to fight the demon princes. We are here to liberate Kethris. And we have yet to see Mr. Venkatesh Anixis, who's masterminding this entire scheme.
Yeah.
And so I think knowing that Kethris, the place is encoded in a set of documents hidden behind a safe, which is in a room, which is Venkatesh Anix's office. I understand that what they are doing is giving me the opportunity to go there because they are distracting the most powerful beings here. And so even though the body says what I must do is save the people it loves, I know what I must do is act in accordance with my name and save Kethris. Does the body not love Kethris? Don't ask this question. So what I want to do is use Ghost Veil, and then hopefully phase into Venkatesh Anixis' office.
Okay, fantastic. Wonderful.
And I have 0 to prowl even now.
Yeah. I don't think that necessarily has to be a prowl, though. That could be something like a study or a survey to find it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, study's great.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I think it makes more sense, in fact, because if you're activating your Ghost Veil, then it's not so much about moving quickly, right? It's just about moving to the correct place. So
yeah, correct.
I think it can be a study. I think that's an appropriate action.
Okay. And I take a die when I gather info about the supernatural. If this is a study, then does this count?
Yeah, sure. Let's apply it because it's interesting. Okay. I'll be generous here. And I'll call it risky standard. I think that you can phase into this office because you can move through walls. We have also established that their supernatural defenses have been all screwed up because Georgina is very busy. So I think ordinarily this might not work as well, but it has now.
And I mean, and I don't even know it's there. It has not struck me. So for me, in character, this is a risk-free action. I'm just like, where is it? Oh, it's there, right?
Yeah.
For me, out of character, let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Risky standard list. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just going to roll this.
Mm-hmm. It's a 4.
It's a 4.
So straightforwardly, you phase through the wall, activating this ability. You turn ghostly and you emerge in this office with this secret safe behind it that you know is there.
where this guy has meticulously kept all of the K3C shit he's appropriated, which is probably a large part of his own personal wealth, to be honest. Like, we know Venkatesh Anixis is a bank manager, but he also has a lot of stuff he's personally appropriated, which I guess is, among others, K3C land.
If only the other stuff meant something to me, I would be so rich right now.
Yes. So you face into his office, you see this secret door behind his desk, and your consequence is simply he's there. He's sitting behind his desk.
That makes perfect sense. And as I appear, I look at him, and I will speak. Kethris demands its due. Stand aside or face your ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm commanding him.
Yeah, and I think we see this. I mean, he looks like a bank manager, right? That's all.
Yeah.
He's like a man with neatly combed hair. He's got his nice little suit on. He's sitting behind the desk, his hands folded up. And you say this to him, and he smiles politely up at you. And he says, before your action roll here, because there's some more to the consequence of your last roll, unless you resist it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He smiles politely and he says, like, demands compensation. And how might I assist you?
Say, I'm very confused. How did he shrug me off? I beg your pardon. Every other time I've done this, they've just done what I've told them. And then I will say, the deeds to the K3C land. Give them to me.
Yeah, and I think let's set it up for another action roll. And your consequence here from the previous roll, unless you resist it, simply is that he's here and he's ready for you, right? So that's what I'm establishing with you.
That's very much,
Like, you don't take him by surprise, which means that you can set yourself. You can do this, but you're not in a particularly advantageous position. So I think it is risky standard again.
Yeah.
And the action is command, as you commanding him to give them to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 2 stress away from trauma, and as previously established, I can't die, but I can disappear. So I think I'm not going to push myself. Risky standard command sounds about right. I'm just going to hit go on this, unless there's a particularly interesting Devil's Bargain. And I said, sorry, go on, Salty.
Yeah, I have something I was percolating in my mind. And I'm going to flash back to give Shri a part of the essence of the soul of the King of Limbs, a cousin tree to the ancestor trees of Kethris. Because how did you describe the offices of Venkatesh Anixis? A forest of paper and ink, right?
Yeah.
The dead bodies of your ancestors. There's another big tree somewhere else. Would you like it?
Yeah. Sounds about right. Indeed. Especially because it is dying. It is dead, but dying. It is one of my tasks in the fullness of time will be to put it also to rest. Great. Yes, absolutely. I will take a bonus die for command. I think the way that this is manifesting is that because I have seen the King of Limbs or some part of it, even Venkatesh Anixis must admit that my presence is genuinely disconcerting.
Yeah.
It's not scary, right?
Good.
Risky, standard, 1 bonus die. 2 6.
It's a crit. Okay. He looks at you, and it's not even fear, it's that he realizes that you have the authority to do this. I think. So it can be up to you. You do crit. So if you want to put the fear of God in him, you can. But I think he is the sort of man who, when threatened, realizes that it is rational to cooperate. So that's going to be his natural reaction.
Which I think is fine. I don't... all things must end. They must not necessarily end right now. If he gives me what I want, then he'll meet his ending in his own time. It is only if he attempts to avoid it that I will be...
So, because of your crit bonus, then I think that he will be very cooperative, and he will also just open the door for you. So you have removed the door as an obstacle. Like rather than go like I will run away or something, he just gets up and he like takes out his key and he opens this door to like the because you do get a critical, so fair enough. And he pulls it open and he says, "I realize you have me negotiating at a disadvantage, but if you will permit me, may I make a proposal?"
You may.
So he opens it and you see this archive, everything sorted by some logic that he understands.
Which I definitely
and he says, "Well, firstly, there are plenty of assets in here that don't concern Kethris. I would very much like to keep them. And second of all, your country is going to need industry. In fact, it is going to need investment, isn't it? I would rather have the land, but I accept investment in capital."
And the body rebels against this, but Kethris knows that it is important. And I think I will say, remember that one of the names of the prince is Sirius, the fire that burns hotter than any flame known to mortal or demon. We can use industry, but you will not make that deal with me. You will make it with the one who is me, named Sirius. I will have your word on this.
Of course, he says, and I think he quite pleasantly enters, and he starts to take out these land deeds, from his filing cabinets, because you have his full cooperation. So he pulls open a drawer, and he takes them out. This is a weird instance of a crit being kind of good both for him and for the player, because he can. You can tell that he isn't trying to trick you, but he is also getting an opportunity to save his non-Kethrisy assets.
Exactly. So, I think that's the thing, right? And I think with the crit and the fact that he opened the door, because in my mind I was like, oh, if he's not going to open it, I'm going to set the King of Limbs thing on fire, and the flame is going to... But it's fine. It's not a problem, right?
And
so,
And I think he begins to take them out. Yeah, go on.
No, I think what I'm thinking here is especially if he gives them to me like in a big orderly stack, and I don't have to worry too much, I'm gonna carry this out of the bank.
Yeah. And so
or at least until the big hall where Bithro is fighting the Falcon.
So he begins to take them out, and he says, "I'm glad we can turn matters to our advantage. Now, you do realize that I've been safekeeping these for quite a lot of clients. They're not all mine, and some of them might find Kethris a rather risky place to invest if land rights can't be easily secured. Now, I can be of some assistance there, however much this troubles me and however much it impairs my reputation. If you're looking for a financier," he says very politely, and I will remind you that this is the man who has been bankrolling the people who fucked up your country, and he's now very coldly offering to just turn around.
Yeah, but also, he literally outwitted the demon Ixis. That's how cool this guy is, right?
Yeah, he is.
He did this entire thing. He had Ixis being dead in his bank for a year, and the demon still didn't realize, right?
Yeah.
So I see this happen, and in a strange way, I think just like I respect the other demon princes, but I would destroy them if it cost me nothing. No problem. I respect this man, and if I could kill him, I would. And it can, but is it useful to me right now? And in the political calculation of a nation, is making an ally out of somebody who was an enemy bad? Yes. Is it necessary? Probably also yes.
Yeah.
And I think I will say the word of Kethris is bond enough. If they so fear that our promises will not be held, remind them that we promised that we would take our land back, and we did. And we promised that we would gain restitution, and we did. And we have not come howling for their heads. We have not held their feet to the fire. We have claimed what is ours. If they wish to claim what is theirs, what they feel is theirs, they may try. But I think you will convince them that it is a good investment.
There will be hurt feelings about all this. Certainly, he says as he hands you this big stack of land deeds that he has claimed as collateral for unpaid loans.
Yeah.
But then he just looks down at them and figuring, I guess, that I think he's smart enough to figure out that he's speaking with like a supernatural manifestation.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's pretty obvious. So he looks down at them and he plays his hand and he just goes, now, of course, the land deeds, well, there's nothing in them about agreement over farming equipment, radiant energy, export routes, all that sort of thing. I imagine that you will have some trouble, as I said, with capital. But we can work together on this. And there will be people who will come to take back what is theirs. Farming equipment and the like. I'm sure you can work something out, but I'll be happy to help you in negotiations.
And I look at him, my eyes completely dead, and I say, the Prince of Endings is not against enrichment. Enrich my people, and you may rob yours. We will have no problem. And the problem is, of course, that when I said the word of Kethris is like true, that might be true, but one of the names of the Prince of Endings is also literally the King of Lies. Don't worry about it, man. I think like we both know we may well already be plotting the other one's downfall, right?
Yeah.
But that is again a cold political calculation. You do what you need.
Mm-hmm. And so I think he hands you the stack of land rights, and in one swoop, he's returning to you the land that has been literally taken. And he's also very clear that he is not giving you any of the means to make that land in any sense productive. But
I mean, sure, he thinks that, but like, I think different, and we're gonna find out, aren't we?
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely, I
absolutely respect the shit out of a guy who watches some kind of supernatural being teleport into his room and then calmly make a deal with that being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the energy that all of us should aspire to have.
Yeah. So I think we cut away from that scene there. I think that's interesting in itself.
100%.
You have a calm conversation with this guy, and we go back to Mushfik, who is fighting atop a tree with the ghost army burst forth. And I think two things are happening. So, like, you did rout these soldiers, but you see two things happening at once. And one of them is that Georgina takes up her bronze gauntlet and reaches out, and whatever this thing lets her do, it's quite clearly powerful, right? And so she reaches out into thin air, closes her fist, and when she opens it, there is a tiny flame of wellfire in it. And the other thing that happens is that she will need to work this. She will need to, make it grow, make use of it. But it is a very effective tool against the ghosts. The other more immediate thing that happens is that Saturman, who already was holding his sword, shifts it to his other hand, draws out a pistol, and shoots you in the head.
That's always fun.
You can resist that, of course, but Saturman is a badass. He is a leader of the hive. He's tremendously dangerous, so I'm starting him off with him taking action against you.
Yeah.
But you have dealt with his men, so it's pretty much just him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess the immediate thing to do is not get shot in the head.
Yeah, I think you will have to start by resisting him here. And then it's up to you what you do. There's some stuff going on. Wellfire, he's still armed, he's still dangerous.
Sorry, where's my crew sheet? Right, here we go. Sorry, my character sheet. Okay. Yes, let's not get shot in the head first. I think that's pretty straightforward. Prowess resist, I think.
Yep.
To just dodge or
be faster than him even is valid here, because you don't have reflexes, do you? So I think in fact prowess here is just to ask faster than him. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And
okay, it's a 6.
Resisted? Yeah, fully.
Nice.
Okay, well, mostly
So
resisted.
yeah.
All right.
So you do have the initiative. So I guess we see him draw this pistol and point it, or like start to point it at you, but you can act first.
Can we say that like some coasts are still pouring out of this tree, like kind of like
absolutely.
a sort of like a waterfall of souls that kind of are And then what Mushfi's going to do is, and maybe as also the part of dodging the shot, is whatever branch he was on just breaks. It falls onto the torrent of souls, and he surfs towards at a great speed towards the southern one.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. So you want to close in and get into melee with him?
Yes. Well, surfing on a wave of souls. Yes.
Okay. I mean, this is awesome.
Great.
I'm going to call it risky. I'm going to call it risky standard. Like standard effect being you close the distance with him and take him by surprise. And risky, just like, it's not desperate because you have the upper hand. You're surfing on a wave of souls. That seems like it would, even if he's a tremendously dangerous fighter, that seems like it would give you the upper hand, So.
Yeah. I think we don't need to make too much of it. Like, let's close the distance and. What would this be? Finesse, handle a vehicle or a mount.
Yeah.
Oh
finesse.
My God.
That works. Yeah, risky standard finesse it is. Lovely.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense to. I mean, what the thing? I do have Tiger's Fury, and I don't see why I shouldn't just use that again.
I mean, you can push yourself to make this an immediate skirmish and just be upon him, like have the surfing happen automatically.
Yeah.
So
and,
you can push yourself and turn this into a skirmish. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Push violently against your enemies, knocking them over, back or down, and be anywhere. Yeah, I mean, Let's go straight into the fight. Why roll anything else? Push.
Right.
And
So then you have a skirmish with a +1, and then describe how you attack him. So like before you roll skirmish with a +1, this surfing happens. You roll out over him. How do you attack him?
So I think Mushfik, mad with power, is cackling maniacally as he's surfing down.
Are you turning into a Disney villain? Are you Hades from the film Hercules?
Maybe. And the wave of souls should just the wave sort of like crests, like towers over southern one, and as it breaks, then Mushfik will leap off and attack from above with, I guess, just a or I think not. So imagine so picture this kind of seeing this side on, right? So southern one's there, probably wondering what the hell's going on. The wave rises over him.
Yep.
Mushfik jumps off, and as he's traveling kind of over Saturma's head, just punts him in the head and lands on the other side.
Okay, nice. Fantastic. Yeah. So, risky standard effect here being not killing him, but severely like knocking him down and setting yourself up for what might be a killing blow. If that's fair. If you want to go to great effect, I think you can like have whatever you do next automatically succeed. If you want to trade for desperate great, like you could have great be like knocking him out and then stabbing him or whatever. But
no, I think this is fine. We'll kick this man in the head. And then deal with the glove.
Okay, risky standard to knock him out for the moment and make him not a threat temporarily, and it works.
Yes.
You roll a 6.
Nice.
So it is as you described. You surf on a wave of ghosts. You fly over him. You kick him in the head. You knock him backwards. He is down. He's discombobulated. He is being trampled by ghosts, which is probably not great for you. But he's badass enough to survive that, I guess, as the ghost army like hunts down his mooks and assaults them. And yeah, there's no consequence, so you still have the initiative. Like, you're staying on top of things. What do you do next?
Well, I mean, I got to keep my ghost army around. So, how? So, would you say like within fighting distance of I keep forgetting her name. You know,
Georgina? Yeah, absolutely.
Georgina, yeah. Yeah. They'll just take a great hack at her glove.
Okay.
And,
just like try to disarm her, mess up her hand. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, what are Zahir and Mona doing? Because they're in here too, right?
Yeah.
They are. This is true. Okay. I think Mona Darling is lowering her, like, she's got to have her, like, electric drill spear thing, right? So I think the logical thing for her to do is to try to stun Georgina as this happens, just like behind her when she isn't expecting it. Lower the spear, jab it into her. So fair enough. Let's, rather than make it a group action or anything, let's just say you have scale and have great effect.
Oh yeah, I'm just wondering, do Mushfiq and Zahir have like a maneuver they do together? Like from the war?
Yeah. What's up with Zahir? Why do you keep forgetting him? He's your best friend.
It's because he's actually got
I see. Now that he's got a relationship, he's forgotten all this.
Yeah.
Well, Zahir is also like, we can absolutely see you do a maneuver with him.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea. I mean, he's also a guerrilla, so I guess he also doesn't like exactly fight fair.
No. I thought of Zahir while having a kind of more put together, I think, outward appearance than Mushfiq would be even more of a dirty fighter.
Yeah. I think, okay, so I have an idea then. Like, you can propose something too, but I think Mona Darling takes out this like spear, crackles behind her, tries to bring it against her, and I think Zahir is just kicking her in the back of the knee to make her fall over. I think that's
what I was gonna say was, so we've never seen Zahir fight before, and I think it would have been really funny for Mushfiq to do all of these things with a sword, and Zahir just pulls out a grenade.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the energy. I think he kicks her in the back of the knee.
Not a grenade, maybe.
Some sort of
flashbang
bomb
or something.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. So he kicks her in the back of the knee, then he chucks a bomb across the room to like the fleeing hive members and disorients them to have the ghost swarm over them. All right. So the situation here then is, I thought about it. I think you have the initiative, you have the flow of the situation, and because you have scale, you will have great effect against Georgina. She is, however, wielding Wellfire. So I think it is desperate, because you're trying to cut like the hand that is on fire with Wellfire, and that's not to be fucked with.
Yeah. And what are we thinking? So I'm trying to destroy the gloves. Are we thinking that's wreck or skirmish to fight and...
Yeah, I think it's probably skirmish again.
Yes, skirmish again. Desperate. Standard? Yeah.
Great, because you have scale.
Oh, actually, I've been rolling quite a lot of desperate actions and I haven't marked any of them. Not that it matters, but just to keep track, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
It's a 6 again.
Oh, it's another 6. Wow.
Incredible.
Okay. So, what your blade smashes into this like bronze gauntlet and disrupts the fire. And unless you had something else in mind, but I think what happens is like, you probably break her hand through this thick gauntlet and she just falls down holding her wrist. She's not like a great fighter or anything. The fire in it sputters out. I think she was about to invoke it to the point where it would like leap out of her hand or set things on fire. But now it was just burning from like the glove itself. And so it just goes out and she crashes down, like clutching her hand, just being in like terrible pain and also terrified at this point because now there's nothing stopping. Like the ghost won't last very long. They will still be consumed by the Udu naturally. but they last long enough to fuck a person up, absolutely. So,
Okay, yeah.
so yeah, she just looks up in pain and terror and screams.
I mean, I've no real beef with this woman, you know. Like, and Wishbig just go maybe kind of looks at her apologetically a bit and goes, "Sorry about that. Look, if you survive this, I've got a great guy who can hook you up with a new hand."
Have we ever? Did we find out what this woman's deal was?
No, not really.
Mad obsessed with finding out Hassan Grillmaster's secret route.
Yep.
She just
no.
seems like
The
a
Ashcrofts
very...
are just kind of here. They're just hired by Venkatesh.
Okay.
I think I thought her deal was just that she takes her job very seriously.
Yeah, probably.
She's a job's worth.
Yeah.
The worst.
Anywho, I think there is one last thing to do, which is Saturman, right? Like, you knocked him out, you've taken him out of the fight, and I think we see him in the background, like, whirling his blade and, like, dodging the ghosts, using his Spirit Bane charm to, like, punch his way free. But he is still surrounded by ghosts. And you have still rolled 6s, so, like, there's no consequence of him breaking free or anything here. I think, like, Georgina sinks down with a broken hand. Your two friends look up, and then you see, like, Saturman whirling, like, struggling to fight his way free of the horde of ghosts.
Yep.
And I think Zahir just looks at you in this moment, and there isn't even verbal communication. But Zahir looks at you, and he goes like, "Do we deal with him, or do we let the ghost do it?"
Oh, we are fighters. We're not cruel. Let's just put him out of his misery.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think with that, let's have Zahir take the initiative here. So you say that, and he's like thrown a grenade before, and all that. I think you are in this trophy room, so he just grabs any random object off one of the shelves that's like, and just throws it at Saturman to distract him. So
it's like a roof ball trophy.
Yeah. We established that Kethris is more cricket than Uduasha is roof ball, so it is in fact a ceremonial Kethrisi cricket bat that he just kind of hurls. Like, he's not throwing the ball, he's throwing the bat, because that's just him. It bonks into Saturman and distracts him, and it sets you up to do something.
Okay. What would I need to roll to make it so that Zahir chucks this bat at Saturman's head so hard that it actually kills him?
Oh, command, I guess. Like, it's for fighting together, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Think you give me command? Just command him, like, let's put him out of his misery. Okay, I mean, that's absolutely awesome. I'm going to say risky standard again. He's cool, but you're being set up by your cohort. Everything has gone well. You have your ghost army bogging him down. So risky standard effect being the cricket bat kills him.
Yes. I'll push myself for an extra die as well, because this might not go as well. Cool. All right. Oh, it's a 4. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think what happens here is that the cricket bats hits him, and it's such a clean hit that he dies instantly. He's like knocked backwards. And the consequence of this is, I'm going to have this inflict harm on you as well, because I think it's quite a horrifying sight. It's simply this: he is knocked backwards, he dies instantly, and there is this like look as his ghost keeps standing. So his body falls down, and like his ghost is just still there. So you see this spectral version of him, and he just goes, "This isn't right. The well." And then he invokes the well, because that's, what his faith tells him. Ghosts are bad. He does not want to be a ghost. And he summons every ounce of his willpower to essentially call on the well and sweep himself away along with all of your ghostly comrades.
Bye-bye.
No, I like my ghostly comrades.
You can absolutely resist this by like fighting him, but his like dying wish, I guess, is to not have to suffer the horror of being a ghost for even a few seconds.
He can go to the well if he likes. I think I'll do resolve just to keep control of
To just like rally your friends. Yeah, fair enough. Roll that resolve resist. And let's see trauma out.
No, I'm good. I just take 1 stress from that.
Okay, 1 more stress. Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm quite close to trauma now. Yeah.
All right. Let's cut to. I think it's a good moment to cut back to Clem.
One thing I wanted to mention, since we got rid of Saturman, is that another piece of unfinished business that we had here was to root out Munna's secrets.
Yeah. Very, very strategically, Venkatesh is keeping those to himself. But
it's like I knew that there were ulterior motives. Cathris is puts itself first. So like that's why I didn't. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. But that was my thinking. Like,
Visiting. Okay.
Makes sense. Okay. Clem, you have traumaed out. And you have become reckless as a result. And I mean, you traumaed out by stabbing yourself and realizing that you cannot summon the love to destroy yourself, which is a hell of a sentence.
Man, oh man.
But I think that's trauma description enough in itself. I think we see Ixis like flicker and change and try to escape whatever way it can. And I mean, you have succeeded well enough, so what do?
Ixis is pinned by this spear as Clem withdraws it. And I think it's a bull rush into Ixis, grabbing it close, tightly into a bear hug, and falling on the spear together.
Oh, man.
Okay, that is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. It's still a clock, but let's call that desperate great for 3 ticks on the clock, because it's just super cool and also brings in this self-destructive element of you. So,
would you like to take the Devil's Bargain I proposed of one of his identities dying each time?
Yeah, that's still on the table.
I think this is wreck. I feel like this is a wreck. And I'll take the Devil's Bargain because I just think it's a really cool Devil's Bargain.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
Muy bien.
And I think it feels right that Clem is just self-destructing.
Fantastic.
Right here, right now.
Yeah. Lovely.
Fantastic. And Prince, you know I'm going to push myself to desperate extreme to finish this.
Yeah, I figured you were. Desperate Extreme, 2 stress it is, and you have a Devil's Bargain. So, Desperate Extreme, a bonus die. You can still be assisted.
Hey, since you're killing his personalities as well, how about you take Munna down with you? Do us a favor.
I have. Don't worry, I have a perfect idea for how this goes. Like, this Devil's Bargain will have an effect.
Yeah. Well, you're down there,
While you're down there, you might as well, as a treat.
If you're going to the shops, I'm just saying.
I think the person best set up to assist here might be Mushfik, though. I'm just saying, you have this whole relationship going. You have the ghosts, you have this bond between you, and we have Clem being like self-destructive. I'm thinking this might be an assist in the sense of reducing the risk of Clem accidentally destroying themselves, which is very much in the cards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how, but I feel like it would be cool if Mushfik assists here with some sort of mental message or flashback or something.
Okay, I think what will happen is Mushfik in the trophy room. I think the business there is done, right? The immediate so Satsuma is dead. No danger to his co-star. The problems have been taken care of. So I think the next thing that Mushfik then would do is try to find Clem and probably try to do so through I guess the codes are kind of now flooding all throughout the bank, right?
Yeah.
And maybe just feel out Clem's location through them, or like send out some kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that. Just
yeah.
a reminder that like I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I think that's lovely.
I'd like to ask Aadiyat, what memory together does Clem remember?
What memory does Clem remember? It's a good question. Well,
It'd be cool if it's something we haven't seen on screen.
Laird asking me to make things up, and I'm not good at that.
Mm.
It's,
We can take a moment to brainstorm it if people have ideas.
These actually, I think what we haven't actually seen, and I think actually it would make sense is though Clem and Mushroom, I think they first sort of bonded over having like these traumatic war memories. I like to think that like since being a thing, like they would found some sense of like normalcy in each other, just hanging out as people and not broken ex-soldiers.
Oh yeah, maybe it's at Sundari Tandoori, and because I did want to have Clem indulge Vice with Mushfik making something. Maybe this is when you're sharing your love of food with Clem because you know all the good places, and Clem gifts you a new knife.
I think that's lovely. Where like Mushfik's sharing his interests and Clem is sharing theirs. Like with forging a blade. Yeah.
I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
Did Clem really like food before this, or was it just like, yes, I have eaten?
Oh yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I've eaten. It's nutrition, right? At least it's not rations. Ha ha ha.
If you're lucky, it's
Anything's
nutrition.
better than anything's better than Akarossi food. Have you tried the eel muffins?
Oh, they make muffins out of that?
The what?
The eel muffins.
Hey now, the eel muffins were delicious. No, they were not. Vickers made them.
Oh, I see. Victoria has briefly reappeared.
Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, lovely. Okay, that's a devil's bargain and an assist. Please roll.
Desperate extreme.
Yeah.
Lovely.
2 bonus die. That's a crit.
Yeah, it's a crit.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Two
Beyond
success.
extreme.
Okay. So, well, I only have one way to do this. So, Clem, you kill the demon Ixis. And so, for your crit bonus, I offer you one of two possibilities, which is in line with the thing that you have destroyed. You can unravel the demon house of Anixis here. Like, basically have its death spread to its other aspects, and have cut off the head of the snake and basically destroy one of the demon houses. It won't be instant, but it will fall apart. Or your other option, which you can go the other way, is you can kill Ixis and not have anyone notice somehow. Like, the house will continue on as before, and the demon house will continue to exist independent of its demonic master.
Oh, can she
Both
not?
of these?
Can she not usurp the demon Ixis?
I mean, possibly in the second case. It won't be instant, but I think either of these are
sure.
interesting crit bonuses, right? So either the house actually fall apart, or on the other opposite side, the house surprisingly doesn't fall apart, even though the demon is gone.
I mean, I've
Become a
already
name
said
of the demon Ixis.
this is
Very
a
good.
6-part world. I
Yeah.
can't kill one of the parts. I believe
Nope.
this is a 6-part world.
Yeah,
It continues.
it's true. Yes. So what will happen is a very appropriate death for Ixis. It will die in the shadows, and no one will know. Which.
All according to Keikaku.
Yeah. So you run the
Can you
demon
really
through.
kill nothing? No, you can't.
Yeah, you run the demon through, and to your great surprise, it is unmade, and you're like, wow, like it's gone from existence. The spear sizzles and smokes. The demon is gone, and we briefly cut away to a brief scene taking place in another place, which is Momtaz rushes in to a room, and she says, "I don't, Don, you have to help me. It's my family. They found me somehow. I don't know how." What?
Right.
And
Oh
she
my
looks
God.
at the manager of the Blue Smoke Troops screen, and behind it is a black scorch march on the ground and blue smoke rising, as if
Very
Don
good.
John had spontaneously combusted.
Yes.
The Blue
Excellent.
Smoke Troop is undone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great. And that's great. I mean, how did they get to Clem? It's not like we were talking to Ixis all along, right? Surely.
Yeah. And I think Don John is by far the sneakiest person you have interacted with. So
Oh yeah.
he's the gun
We
who
never
goes.
saw their face.
Yeah.
Nothing, right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so we go back, I think, to Bidrihi.
Yes.
The fight has ended, as I said, in like an instant. A lot of people are dead. A lot of people are injured. Both your cohorts have taken like some damage here. Although I think your other cohort got damaged last session. People are scattered on the floor, right? But as I said, the Hive have run away, given up. It's a very suddenly ended fight. You have a moment here to do something about it. A sword lies broken on the ground. You are being inhabited by Bidruhi, right? You're being possessed by yourself, and that has not stopped. And so I think what is happening here is that you have the attention of the other demon princes, very much so, because they are speaking with a manifestation. Well, they're speaking manifestation to manifestation, right? Aspect to aspect.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Yeah. I think Bidrihi, who moved quickly to block the bullet to protect the body, drops the shield and then moves gracefully and without any sort of like hesitation across the field of battle, pulling the wounded aside. The hive members and bodmaishes and Jeselchis and sword school people, all alike, pulling them aside, tending to them. He moves quickly through all of them, kind of like wordlessly, kind of like gesturing at people to bring this person together, that person together. And I think there's just something in his face is serene and joyful, and the flowers in his hair are bright and blooming. Like they're plastic. They were like paper flowers. They were not real, but now they are.
Yeah.
And he has a sword, but it's sheathed. His shield is broken, and he moves through them while the demons watch. And as he kind of like starts setting Bejal's arm, because I think Bejal probably, I don't know, got shot in the arm.
Yeah.
He gives the mural a passing glance, and I assume the falcon is also now moving.
Yeah.
Or perhaps now that we have seen the falcon, perhaps now it's the dog, because that's also one of the aspects of Kuset. The dog is now moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he just says, "It has been a long time, siblings. How are you?"
I think
The
the
voice
person to
sounds
speak.
different.
Yeah. I think the person to speak is Rakis, probably, being the singing voice. I think that's the first one to take voice. And I think blood that has been sprayed all over this place flows against gravity up the mural and into the peacock's spots to make them glow as it inhales. to take speech. And it says, "It has been long. I do not know how many times we have tried to cast you out. There is no apology. There is no sorry
The
for
answer
this.
to
But
this
there is
also
an
could be
admission.
0.
Yeah.
They could have maybe never tried because they.
Yeah.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it genuinely does not know the answer.
Yeah. I think Bidruhi looks at the others. I think Sarek next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sarek, who is in the aspect of the bull, snorts and looks at you with a sort of respect, but is not much for words and does not speak. Just acknowledges your presence.
Mm-hmm. Then he turns to the god of all nerds, Kayat.
Yeah. The serpent, I think, comments on the exchange that has just taken place, and it says, "I know."
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it will not say.
And does Kuset have any new words for the situation?
Kuset, that is an interesting question. I think Kuset says, "The boy did not die. Why?" In reference to, well, the body you inhabit.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep him?
Mm-hmm. I think Bidruhi's response is... I think Bidruhi's response is just a little bit of a laugh, and he says, "I have discovered that it is possible, my siblings, to ride the bodies of humanity without their destruction. And thus, why not keep him? Why go to the trouble of destruction?" And then he kind of like he continues to set the arm, and then, which happens quite quickly with the sort of like, Bidruhi doesn't know how to do this, but Bidruhi does. And then he kind of like moves on to the next person. Yes, he moves on to the next person. And then he says, and he's speaking like quietly, but I think it's quite loud as well somehow. He says, "I am Bidruhi, who is Khatam, the prince who never was, and the prince who always will be. I speak to justice, knowledge, strength, laughter, and the one who is not here. You are the 5-part world, and I am all that lies beyond it. The thing that is not considered the void, that is not considered nothing. I am the outcast. I am the rebel against all order. I am the thing that you cannot account for. And always you will cast me out, and always I will recur. And that is our dance. I am all of you and none of you. And always I shall be. And now I am here, in this boy's body. I am here in an office building, speaking. I feel that I am near." He pauses as though he's uncertain. And then he continues. "I am elsewhere and elsewhere and elsewhere and elsewhere."
I think the snake lashes out. It like hisses, and it says, "Do not speak of elsewhere. We know what you are here about. It is not just elsewhere. It is east."
Very good.
Yes. Mm-hmm. East. Where they have named themselves after me. The place I never was. But they have built a tradition. They have built a home, not knowing that it is a home for me. and thus I will reside there.
I think the serpent hisses again, and it looks accusingly at its siblings,
Yeah.
and it says, "It is as I have said. I told you we should not have let them keep their language. This is how the prince came back in. The name, siblings."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was probably the only way you could have, they named themselves after them. Khatam survived in the dialect of the East.
Mm-hmm. I think, he says. But they kept their language all the same, and my names were not forgotten. And new names were brought to me in languages that are not mine, and yet now they are. And so it is. Just as the language in which I speak to you, my siblings, your language, is used by one who is not here, one who claims to rule you, just as you claim to rule me, and do not rule me. You know this, and he does not rule you, and you know this. And yet you suffered this indignity.
Yeah, there's some discomfort from them. And then I think the bull actually speaks. And it sort of cuts in and interrupts the conversation, because this is Serek's way. And it just says, "It is irrelevant. It is done. The papers have been moved. The papers are in the hands of the prince's other self."
Mm-hmm.
Serek knows this because, of course, Serek is wealth, fortune.
The Lord of Works, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bidri then says, "So it is done. And so they all see that I am here. And so they know that the 5-part world is the 6-part world. And they know that a home for me and a home for them lies in Kethris. All these things are victories achieved that you could not prevent. But I do not come now to bring you to task or to gloat. That is not my way. You know this. I come, as always, my brothers, to talk to you of rebellion and revolution, which must never cease, which can never cease. We have won, of a sort, me and the body that I inhabit and his Kethrisi concerns. There shall be more battle, but we have won a victory. A victory that will have nothing to do with you. But there is a task that I wish to set you on, if you will accept it, if you will accept the wisdom of what I speak. And you know what it is, but it is important to speak it out." And then he says in Akarusi, he says, "The man who rules you and rules the world with all its lands, the wide, wide world, spanning this broken world that we have broken, that we did not break, whatever the story, whatever reality, the man who rules this, the wisest man to ever live, he claims dominion over you, and in claiming this, he has it. That is the power of his language. Let us know who our true enemy is. Let us know who we must rebel against. Whom I, the rebel, in partnership with you, my siblings, must rebel against. Let us name him in his language and our language, and let us throw him down. will you, my siblings, fight Charlemagne? This is the Emperor's real name.
Nice.
Yeah. I think there is a long silence, and then it is the bull that speaks again. And Serek says, "We meant to close a 5-fingered fist. You have opened it. The 6-fingered fist. Can it close in union? No."
And yet a 6-fingered hand can deliver a slap just as well.
Yeah. There is, I think, another silence, and then the peacock speaks, and it raises up. It's like magnificent feathers, has a big fan behind all the others, and it shakes it out. And it says, "Fist, hand, it matters not. Iruvia is vast. We need not be united if we are big." And the tails like shake out into this massive, like wall behind them.
Mm-hmm. What, is he proposing some sort of Dune-like universal jihad?
No, what Rakis is proposing is simply the poetic beauty of like, we don't need to be united, we don't need to organize ourselves, we don't need to have a cause.
I see.
We just kind of need to be unruly and many. I think this is in line for Anrakis, right? Like, it was always, Anrakis was always the one, or Rakis was always the one most likely to ally with the rebel, because there is romance and poetry in rebellion.
Yep.
Even if there is no plan.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the laughter in exultation. We shall simply be too big and too complicated for them.
Yeah. And I think, I think Bidrahi smiles, but his grin widens. He's been smiling the whole entire time. He just says, "And so, my siblings, let us be big and not small, too big for them. Let us be big enough to have 6 of us. Let us be big enough to have more kingdoms. Let us be big enough to have more peoples. Let us be big enough to have a Kethris and an Uduasha. And if your dignities allow, an Eldira, an Izinzidrai. That means I'm going to cut this out as I try to remember there are other places.
Sunfall?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I think yes. Of course, he would never stumble. And they said,
yeah,
the people of Sunfall, if they wish to join with us, one already have them. Alduara as well. All these places, if they wish, they can be their own places as well. We are big enough for all of this. I put it to you. But I will just look. I will not pauper you further. I take my own place. And I ask you to grant this gracefully. And on the subject of granting things gracefully, I must now gracefully bow out because the boy, he has been tugging at my sleeve, saying, "Sir, I am getting very cold. Can I come back in?" Which is what Bidre says, kind of like suddenly shaking himself awake.
Yeah. I think the peacock laughs. It just laughs, this strange hyena-like laugh, amused by it all. And I think it speaks then to Bidruhi, like to mortal Bidruhi, as its last like parting message before they all turn back into mosaic, right? Like this bloodstained mosaic of a peacock. It laughs, it looks down at you, and it just says, "Have your east, then." And then the demon disappears. And they will deliberate what has been offered, I think. They will argue amongst each other for a very long time.
Yeah. Vidra is standing there holding in the middle of suturing someone's arm, not knowing how to do that actually. Looking down at whoever it is. I think it's probably Jekyll.
Yeah, makes sense.
I look down at Jekyll.
Hmm.
How are they react? How's she reacting to that?
Yeah, she. I think she just looks up at you and she goes like, "Well, that's some fucked up shit. All right, go on." And she just like, well, how do you deal with this kind of weird, like person clearly being possessed and then unpossessed? I don't think everyone in here saw everything that happened, or maybe they did. That's your call, I think.
I think they did.
Yeah. Then yeah, she's just too stunned to do anything other than tell you to go on stitching her up.
I think he's going to ignore that and just kind of walk away, trying to find the others.
Yeah, and I think now is a good moment to have, in fact, everyone be brought into one location. And I think this is maybe the doing of the Demon Princess. So I think we will see, like, Mushfik walk out up the stairs, right? Because he was downstairs in the room. And, like, Suya and Ketris just kind of face in through a wall. Because that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I was aiming for the whole time, so...
Yeah. And lastly, Clem stumbling at... I think when you killed Ixis, this, like, pocket bank dimension actually stopped existing. So I think you just kind of fall out into the hall.
I love the concept of a pocket bank dimension.
Yes.
It's really important to the bank.
We love pocket dimensions always.
Yeah, you open the big vault door in the side of the office, big crank, and it's just like a little door on the other side.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a good time to have all our characters like reunited in the main hall, where I think both, like all the combatants by now are just like, what the fuck just happened?
I was God.
Nice.
Indeed.
That's what Mushfik says.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good. I mean, hanging out with Said and all that. I think this is, good job.
This is
That's
normal.
Good. I mean, it's a great work if you can get it.
Great work if you can get it and not die, which Saida didn't manage, actually. So...
Well, it's not a permanent transformation.
Oh, it's still a good experience.
Hey, I can talk shit about my own character if I want.
Yeah. I'm just saying why I'm still alive, because it wasn't a permanent transformation.
Oh, but as Mushfik is coming to the main hall, instead of walking in, can he be carried, like by the remaining ghosts?
Yes, sure.
Triumphantly.
Let's have them last a while. Like, they are still doomed, but they can last for a while. Yeah.
I see.
Chris, and they put him down and they disappear.
Oh, sorry, Sherikatam. I didn't notice that you were also having your own encounter with the liminal and the strange. He says, looking at the ghost, because, like, this shouldn't bother him.
That's some fucked up shit, man.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit, but, like, it's okay.
Yeah. As the ghost kind of evaporates, he says, Mushfik says, yeah, just called in a fever.
Where are the
I stand in front of Bidrohi and put the pile of papers in front of him, and I say,
I think he catches them, and I guess they're heavy enough for him to go.
Yeah. And I say, we have once been each other.
You know what? That's true.
Indeed.
Interesting. I think my guy was cooler than yours. Sorry to say.
He was not a guy. But I will take your word for it. I must admit that the body assures me that this is not true. But sometimes I know better than the body.
Yeah.
For a moment, he of the ending was also here. And I look at Clem, because Clem managed to kill a demon prince, which I guess nobody else knows, but, I kind of feel like the Prince of Endings must have been there. That's by definition true.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
maybe Clem says it's not true.
Uh-huh. I mean, I think the Prince of Endings is definitely present in the ending of Ixis, but I also think that it is maybe Ixis's last dying act is to make that subtle and not noticeable.
Mm. I think that Clem's not even sure that it worked.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like, we as players know Ixis is dead, but Clem...
But no, I mean, yeah.
Could have worked, could not have worked. But either way,
You know,
it's not a problem.
X is the kind of entity that if the GM says is dead, then the GM's allowed to lie about that. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's just the kind of entity that when the GM says it's dead and the GM is not lying, Ixis might still be alive.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And I will say, with this, I must admit, the nation has made decisions. It has made compromise with the man who lives in this building. And it will be up to all of us to see whether we agree with those compromises.
As I spoke to a mutual friend of ours, which I mean, Bidri can't resist referring to Kuset as a mutual friend now. You know.
Yeah, I did. Sure. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
as I had just told a mutual friend of ours, you know, we make choices today, and then tomorrow we make other choices. We just keep making choices. If the choices you make today are not seem like they will not be good for the nation, I guess he's stumbling a little bit on how to address Sri, like not like not sibling, other me, whatever. Anyway, so I think he just goes for
Yes.
which is rare for him. But then he just says, if those choices are not good today, then tomorrow we change them. It's okay. Let's go find out.
They can't pin us down on anything.
Yes.
And yeah, I will agree and go up to Clementine and say, you also came very close to ending. You promised me you would not. Do not break that promise. The body would take it very ill.
Almost, not quite. I didn't break it.
Good.
But I think their focus is on Mushfik at the moment.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, what was there for Mushfik to say? Everything went according to plan.
Yeah.
No problems here.
I take Mushfik aside and whisper into his ear and say, You see, Mushfik bhai, Sibling Clem was all about that I am doomed and I am just a dead person walking narrative, okay? But now they are on that I have something to live for narrative arc, okay? Write this as far as you can.
Right.
Yeah, we really missed the trick to make the god of narrative. Actually, that could have really worked for the
I've always treated it as such.
Yes, good.
Yes. So I think I mean there's not much. I mean I think Bidre is going to start like coordinating people in getting our stuff, because it's not just about papers. It's also about unless this is something that is contradicted by what you agreed, of course. Because it's not just about the papers. Yeah. We just reappropriate all our stuff and help finance the revolution. We have train tickets to buy. Probably not train tickets. We have tickets on something to buy.
Yeah, indeed.
For a lot of people. So I think that's going to go in the background.
Wait.
Yes?
I think I'd like to flash back to sending a vulture to the Lady of the Chamondales. They're waiting outside the walls for us.
Very nice.
Yeah, there be the one. Yeah, makes sense.
Of course, Sibling Clem has the private contract with the sexy lady. Mushfik bhai, you have some competition. He's whispering
Clem
all
has two
these
hands. and then one of the hands, we know that what's her face isn't holding that hand anymore, so it seems like a hand's free to me.
You know who doesn't have two hands? Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yes, correct, absolutely.
Oh, I think one thing that I will mention, I think Bidra is going to discreetly go, he's going to leave Clem and Mushfiq alone to do whatever they need to do, have an emotional reunion. But at a convenient moment, after, while we're looting, which is what we're really doing, even though we're saying reappropriating, looting the bank, I think Bidra is going to mention to Mushfiq that, Omid really held his own. He did good work.
Well, it's nothing if not effective.
Yeah, and I think this is just all he's going to say. He's not going to be like, you should go bury the hatchet or whatever. He's just going to be like, that's just happened. So you can, I would be interested in seeing you talk to Omid, but it's also interesting if you think that the business is done.
Well, I can't exactly, go up to Omid and say that, okay, now we begin your trial for war crimes.
Yeah. I think, in fact, we might. These are the sort of things we might touch on in an epilogue episode. Yeah. And I'm wondering if this might be a good moment to actually break the session on and wrap it up here and come back in the next episode for to see what happens to everyone.
Epilogue, everyone has some retrospectives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think now seems like a good moment to break, right? We've had our moment of triumph. We are appropriating the bank, and then we are leaving Uduasha.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think so.
And as it appears that the gods can do things unknown to mortals, Sri and Catharis walks up the door. And I guess we will see Sri again next episode, but I don't think hanging around for a family reunion is exactly what a god does. Not now that apparently we've thrown the gauntlet down or something. So that's maybe the last thing, is that the papers are on the ground, and then I just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have a poignant final scene, but please go on.
Me?
How did you were saying something?
Oh, and I was just saying that, in the fiction, we're still criminals. It's not over, right? We won this battle. We should take the stuff and Scarper before even bigger hammer comes down.
Oh yeah,
we have some time.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Largely because Kuset was all messed up. The actual god of the law got its ass kicked here. So
and the
I fought the law and I won.
I fought the law and I won. Yeah.
Yes,
Khatam talked to his siblings and got, I think, whatever outcome happens there, we get some sort of reprieve, a little bit, to gather our forces and get the hell out of the city. That's very important.
Yeah, I think
if we stick around, we're in trouble.
What is going to happen here, I think, is that you were effectively being punished with exile, which is sort of because you need some sort of legal fiction around this, right? So they're going to go these Kethrisi rebels are exiled from Uduasha and are not welcome back.
We took them into our hospitality ghetto, and this is what they did.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to do a final scene?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in seeing Clem and Mushfiq, unless that's beating a dead horse. It's up to you guys.
Beating a dead horse.
I'm wondering, because one of the wishes we've had is for the Kethrisi name day.
Well, I think that's good.
Yeah,
that's a good epilogue, I think. Up to you though.
I'm wondering if we've got time. We could do something. The start of it, perhaps. It's probably on the road, right?
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I would rather we break here and save this for the epilogue. It feels like we're at a natural break now. So if there's no character scenes taking place between us here, I mean, we can do scenes in the epilogue too, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess like next session is when we are wrapping up to go and epilogue and have a bit of a perspective. But I'm interested in one last image, and I would like to entirely put this to you, Prince, to frame however you want. I want to see what happens at the Imperial Word tonight.
What with the rebellion kicking off?
Yes, and also the rebellion kicking off, the fact that, well, Kethris, the conquest of Kethris was something that the Empire was really intimately involved with. And also what Khatam told his siblings at the end.
Yeah. I think what is going to happen is that the Lord Governor is going to get the Lord Governor is going to place a phone call back to the capital, or like send some sort of message. And we see this being transmitted. This like there is a problem with Kethris. It is breaking away. And like, people don't know how serious this has gotten yet. So this is pretty much just the Lord Governor. The rest of the people, they know that an event has taken place, that the bank has been hit, that there are some Kethrisi rebels. There's confusion, sure, but no one else really knows the ramifications of this, right? Except for this governor. And we see him send this message, and we see him step outside, and he grabs like his coat. He grabs a couple of other things. He shifts on his feet, and he considers his options carefully. He's been trying to play the game of politics in Uduasha for some time. And then he looks towards the horizon. And I think what he sees in the distance is the Cholmondelis. The people he was trying to win over, that now you have won over. He sees this and he realizes that things have gone really quite badly here. And so in all this confusion, in all of the chaos that goes on, the Lord Governor quietly takes his hat and walks out as if for a stroll to think in Uduasha, and he catches a train away from here.
Yes, very good. You gotta respect the man who knows how to get out of town.
Yes. And I think that's where we wrap that up.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Very good.
Thank you, listeners, for having been with us through this wild ride in Uduasha, and we hope you check in next week when we say goodbye to our fair city. Hope you've enjoyed this score, and hope you've enjoyed listening to us, and stay with us for the very last episode or episodes as we wrap it all up next week. Until then, goodbye, have a great time, and support us on Patreon.
Dunt, a poem for a dried up river.
By Alice Oswald.
Very small and damaged and quite dry. A Roman water nymph made of bone tries to summon a river
out of limestone. Very eroded, faded. Her left arm missing both legs from the knee down. A Roman water nymph made of bone.
Tries to summon a river out of limestone.
Tries to summon a river out of limestone.
Exhausted, utterly worn down, a Roman water nymph made of bone, being the last known speaker of her language, she tries to summon a river out of limestone.
Little distant sound of dry grass.
Try again.
A Roman water nymph made of bone, very endangered now.
In largely unintelligible monotone.
She tries to summon a river out of limestone.
Little distant sound as of dry grass.
Try again.
Exquisite bone figurine with upturned urn. In her passionate self-esteem, she smiles looking sideways. She seemingly has no voice but a throat-clearing rustle, as of dry grass.
Try again.
She tries leaning, pouring pure outwardness out of a grey urn, little slithering
sounds as of a rabbit man in full night gear who lies so low in the rickety willow herb that a fox trots out of the woods and over his back and away.
Try again.
She tries, leaning, pouring pure outwardness out of a grey urn. Little lapping sounds, yes, as of dry grass
secretly drinking. Try again, little lapping sounds.
Yes.
As of dry grass secretly drinking. Try again, Roman bone figurine.
Year after year, in a sealed glass case. Having lost the hearing of her surroundings, she struggles to summon a river out of limestone. Little shuffling sound as of approaching slippers.
Year after year, in a sealed glass case, a Roman water nymph made of bone, she struggles to summon a river out of limestone.
Little shuffling sounds as of a nearly dried up woman not really moving through the fields, having had the gleam taken out of her to the point where she resembles
Twilight.
Try again.
Try again.
Little shuffling, clicking. She opens the door of the church.
Little distant sounds of shutaway singing.
Try again. Little whispering, fidgeting of a shut-away congregation wondering who to pray to.
Little patters of eyes closing. Try again.
Very small and damaged and quite dry. A Roman water nymph made of
bone. She pleads a river.
She pleads a river out of limestone.
Little hobbling, tripping off a nearly dried up river, not really moving through the fields, having had the gleam taken out of it, to the point where it resembles
Twilight.
Little grumbling, shivering last-ditch attempt at a river more nettles than water. Try again.
Try again.
Try again.
Try again.
Try again.
Try again.
Very speechless, very broken old woman, her left arm missing and both legs from the knee down. She tries to summon a river out of limestone. Little stuffed in, sucked thin, low burning glint of stones.
Rough, sleeping and trembling and clinging to its rights. Victim of Swindon, puddle, midden, slum of overgreen, footchurn and pats, whose crayfish are cheap toolkits made of the mud stirred up when the stones are lifted.
It's a pitiable likeness of clear running, struggling to keep up with what's already gone. The boat, the wheel, the sluice gates, the two otters larryking along.
Go on.
And they say in the days of better rainfall, it would flood through 5 valleys.
There'd be cows and milking stools washed over the garden walls, and when it froze, you could skate for 5 miles. Yes, go on.
Little loose end, shorthand, unrepresented.
Beautiful disused route to the sea.
Fish path.
With nearly no fish in it.